You'll see even the best struggle when they don't have no offensive line.
Wow. All right. Well,
It all starts up. There's a reason why they all say it starts up front, because it literally does start up front. Unless you have a guy that's going to run around, get out of there, and make plays with his feet as well as his arm, you need that solid offensive line. Because the guy that's just a pocket passer is going to sit back there and get killed. Hence why Jacksonville went to Bortles. Because he gets away. He moves. Teddy Bridgewater, pocket passer. Solid offensive line. So he's okay there. If he would have been here, it would have been a completely different story. We would have been talking about Teddy Bridgewater's hurt now 5 weeks. If you want to talk about here, because he wouldn't have been able to get away from it.
Yeah.
Whereas Blake was moving, spinning, getting out. And he's smart with the ball. So,
do you feel any sympathy for Tom Brady at all?
not really. Not really. He's handsome.
Super Bowl champion.
Plenty money. Gorgeous wife.
He's living in the richest part of the Boston metropolitan area. So
living large, being able to do whatever he wants to do. Probably don't have to pay for a meal in the place if he don't want to. Yeah. It's kind of hard to feel sorry for somebody that way, that has that. It's hard for us to feel sorry for any of these guys. Yeah, I feel sorry for them. Not really. Not really. One paycheck could take care of everything I needed for at least 3 years.
Well, this is the thing that I'm hoping I'm not seeing now, and I don't want to jump the gun, but this is what you do when it's week 4 NFL. And,
well, it's coming to an end.
And are we really seeing the end of a dynasty?
The end is near.
Because this is what's equivalent as it was to the NBA Spurs. Like, they stay competitive. Spurs had a down year, too, and they came back the next year even better. And then ongoing, they came back and being a little bit stronger. So maybe this is a down year, but
the Spurs helped their old people.
Very true.
New England hasn't helped their old people.
Yeah.
There's a difference. The Spurs as an organization did what they could to bring people in to help.
Yeah.
New England hasn't done that. And the end is coming. The end's getting near, because when you get older, trust me, things start falling apart. Things start not wanting to act like they do. And this is from a guy who doesn't get beat up as my job. And it's coming. It's coming to an end. It's coming to an end. I think it's all coming to an end. I think Belichick, Brady, I think all of it's coming to an end. And I think they'll all go out together whenever they figure it out. Because we always talk about Popovich and Duncan. Do they ride out together? What about Brady? And same thing with Brady and Belichick. Do they ride out together? And I just think the end is near, and we're looking. You've seen the shift, kind of, sort of,
right,
in the NFL. The only thing that's not a shift was Peyton is still going strong, but there's another hint of he's somewhere where if you put Brady where Peyton is and Peyton where Tom is, we're talking about Brady, or we're talking about Peyton right now struggling, and we're talking about Brady having a good year. To me, them two guys are interchangeable. Those two guys are interchangeable. If you give them the weapons and you give them the line, both of these guys are interchangeable, and you could have the same success with one in your backfield and the other one as your quarterback.
Right. I watched this in my high school years during the decade where they were just dominating, and so it is kind of weird for me to see this team. I want to say they're.
The funny part was it wasn't really.
It wasn't really an era, but it was very competitive.
The best part was the first year they went, it wasn't really a dominant, like 2001. It wasn't really dominant.
No.
It was, we took their backs because of everything 9/11, and they were named the Patriots, and everybody meshed that in together with it. And then they were a solid team, and they were able to go to all these Super Bowls. Right. And it was the closest thing to a dynasty.
Yeah.
That we've seen during this point.
And that's what I was talking about. Like, I grew up in high school and college. Can't stand the Patriots. I still can't stand the Patriots. I lived in Boston for like a year and a half.
We know.
And still, I know. And still couldn't stand the Patriots. Like, it was funny that they was all surprised at how much I didn't like the Patriots. And everybody up there, of course, they're going to love the Patriots. It's a religion up there. And just being in that kind of environment was pretty cool. It was pretty cool. But me being a spectator back saying that, listen, I don't like your team, this is different from like, listen, I'm from the South, man. You know,
I'm from the South, but I like a team from the West.
Yeah, I like a team from the West. But they were just not used to that. So every time I really had a chance to bash the Patriots, I did it. And when my Broncos ended up beating them, they didn't hear the end of it for me. But I feel like, I think you're right, Kevin. This could be the coming to the end. And good things, like they said, all good things must come to an end. Mm-hmm. And hopefully, maybe we'll have a different conversation about Week 8. Maybe this is all turn around. But right now, it's to lose to the Kansas City the way they did. And even Alex Smith said, I don't feel bad with Tom Brady. He's got rings. I don't. Exactly. I want one of those.
Exactly.
I just want one.
No one feels bad.
Yeah, he's like, no disrespect to Tom. I respect all he done.
Yeah, no one's going to feel bad. It's
I
not
don't
a
feel
thing
bad
of
for
feeling
Tom
bad.
Brady.
Yeah, it's not a thing of feeling bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
There's no way you feel bad for a guy that's done all he's done and has what he has, and yeah you don't feel bad.
All right.
You're like, oh, shit. No, I'm not. I'm not going on shit. I'm like, oh, shit.
All right, Oakland Raiders fired Dennis Allen after
surprise.
I'm not whooping that Miami put on them over in London, in
Wembley Stadium,
and
we'll be there in week 9.
So this fire happened, and then Mark Davis was asked about.
There's no way in hell.
So he was cool saying, reaching out to John Gruden. I don't know. He may reach out to me. I may reach out to him. I may reach out to anybody. I'm not going to talk about future coaches. And then Raiders GM Reggie McKenzie said he will hire the next head coach. It will be on him that he will.
It ain't going to be John Gruden, I can tell you that much.
Here's a funny thing. Raiders had 7 coaches since John Gruden. Mm-hmm. John Gruden was 38 and 26 during his tenure. Bill Callahan, Norv Turner, Art Shell, Lane Kiffin, Tom Cable, Hugh Jackson, and Dennis Allen combined record for 64 wins and 132 losses. Golden coach has many games that they combined total wins.
Yep. And
still got 38 wins. First of all, I mean, what is this all on management or the coaching, or do you think it's
they drafted the fastest person at the combine for about 6 years running. It's called inept. They're inept. They're inept at looking at talent. They're inept in judging talent. Even when Allen died.
Al Davis? Yeah,
when Al Davis died, they were like, "Oh, they're going to take over. They'll do some other stuff, and you won't see these crazy drafting." No, they're still doing it. The whole organization is inept.
So this can't be on the coach. Is it
no,
a little bit of both, or is it upper management?
It's the organization is an inept organization.
Raiders, dude, this is terrible.
They're like us.
Who wants to coach the Raiders that you know you don't have job security, that you get fired within a year? Well, he's been a coach. Dennis Allen's been a coach for like 3 years.
To a certain extent, they're like us in our old regime. No one. You had to fucking throw money at people to get them to come to this thing.
It's an inept virtue. What happened to that saying? Patience is a virtue. What has happened to this?
Not when you draft shit. It's not a virtue.
Well, maybe you should start finding upper management. Someone need to let this upper management
go.
You can't.
They're not going to, because they're stuck in their ways of how they do stuff. The bad part is sometimes people are too loyal to people. Mm-hmm. Hence, I'll take you back. Wayne Weaver, when he started the Jaguars and everything got in, Gene Smith was one of the original people that were here. Mm-hmm. He's here since 95, or he's here since 93 with the organization. Then they gave him the general manager role. You see what happened. Yeah. You've seen what happened. The bad drafts after bad drafts after bad drafts after bad drafts after bad drafts have set this organization back 4 years. They set us back 4 years. Right now, we should be good again. But we've got set back 4 years because of stupidity of Blaine Gabberts, of punters in the third round, of, hey, that Russell Wilson guy's on the board. Let's draft him now. Let's get a punter. Hey, Justin Blackman seems like a good kid. Let's get him. Yeah, that didn't work out well too for you either, did it? They set us back, and that's what's happening in Oakland. People are loyal to people that have been there, and they're like, he'll turn it around. And then when it never turns around, it takes somebody else buying the team and then getting his own people and coming in.
So give me, because you're Jazz, right? They got some players from Seattle. They got some.
It was only
management,
because
got some people out of management from Seattle. Why can't Oakland do this? Look at some of these teams that's been more successful. Seattle,
well, the guy
New England, Denver.
The guy we went and got as our general manager was Polian was his guy that he looked up to. Mm-hmm. Bill Polian. He was always around Bill Polian in Indianapolis, and he was always around him. And he came from the Atlanta organization. So we got him. They just went out and got a coach that they thought would fit the mold of what they were trying to do here and everything like that. People are starting to question it. I won't question it until next year. Next year, things don't start to improve. Then that's when you start questioning.
That's what I'm saying. But y'all pulling from the right management, though.
Year 3 is when you start questioning. Oakland is just Oakland. They still haven't learned. He hasn't learned from Daddy's mistakes. Mm-hmm. And until you learn from what your dad did and what not to do, you're never going to learn. And you just going and getting Gruden to coach this team wouldn't make a hell of a difference. I don't care, because there is no talent on this team. None. No talent.
Gruden said he will come if there's a franchise quarterback. So if he believes that Carboy is a franchise quarterback.
He's not a franchise quarterback. He's not a franchise quarterback.
If Gruden believes that, then he'll come. That's what he was saying. That's what people have been saying. His sources saying that if Gruden will come if there's a franchise quarterback. Anyway, he was just talking about as far as return to coaching.
Well, Carr's not a franchise quarterback, so we ain't got to worry about him going to Oakland.
It's pretty much, yeah. See, like you said, I like what your Jags are doing. They're taking people from the management and doing that because, and give it to me in basketball terms, Orlando did the same thing, grabbing people from San Antonio. They grab a scout from the Bulls.
And they got a guy from the Thunder.
Yeah, so you're grabbing people from successful organizations. Same thing with Jaguars. They're grabbing people from successful, like, show me how it's done.
But
come in here and show us how it's done. Yes, it's going to take time.
Yeah, the thing is, they got to be smart with what they do. And Oakland has never been smart with what they do.
And y'all draft pick.
Hasn't come lately.
Y'all draft it. Y'all got it right.
Oh,
y'all got it right.
They finally got one right.
They're doing a redraft saying that Blake Bortles should be number 1.
Exactly.
There was a draft on NFL.com. They do a redraft, Blake Bortles should be number 1. Y'all got bad for taking that guy. Even when we went to the draft day party, people was like, boo, we should have got Manziel. Kevin's like, I'm okay with a pick.
Yep.
And I said I'm okay with a pick too.
I'm okay with a guy that's 6'5", 200-something pounds, and actually looks like a quarterback.
Yeah, a solid year at UCF, and y'all did a good job.
Instead of looking like a midget out there playing with a bunch of giants.
No, y'all first round pick, even y'all later draft picks is looking pretty solid right now.
Yeah, Robinson's looking real solid. We went and picked up Hearns, and he wasn't even drafted.
Why can't Oakland do this? Pick it from organizations that have been successful.
Because they're loyal. And that's the bad part.
That's what cost mad. We were loyal to Otis Smith when we had him.
That's what causes it.
Denver, we got John Elway. Now, get me wrong, we was 500 ball club before we got Peyton Manning, and who knows what we'll be.
Hold on. You wasn't 500 ball.
We was near.
You was a playoff team.
We was a playoff team. Okay, we was
Don't diss.
I'm not dissing them, but I'm not dissing. But what I'm saying is the real work begins after Peyton Manning leaves. I want to see what John.
Oh yeah.
Anybody can get Peyton Manning. Because
John has had it laid out on a silver platter for him right now.
Exactly.
Because nobody's going to say nothing bad about it. Because he's got it laid out on a silver platter. But he's done some stupid draft picks. Yeah. Because the picks he's done on defense wasn't good enough that they had to bring in all these older veteran guys to come help solidify defense because he missed a few times.
Yeah.
So
that's what I'm saying. Let's
will really find out what John Boy is made of.
Oh yeah, that's what I'm saying. We'll see.
This year, a lot of people questioned him because he didn't go pick up a quarterback.
Yeah, because they was probably like, what about after? Yep. But they believe we'll see what Osweiler can do. But anyways,
they shouldn't seen what Osweiler can do. They should have went out and picked a guy they know is going to be solid and let him build up like they did Aaron Rodgers in Green Bay.
Very true.
Green Bay knew Favre wasn't going nowhere for 2 more years. They knew it. They were like, let Aaron sit behind him.